Woo, it's taking off a lot. Woo, I hope it didn't lighten it up too much. Hope John Wayne is still John Wayne. So today, using only this can of spray paint, this piece of wood, and one bit in this CNC, we're gonna make an iconic photo. Not just any iconic photo, one of the guys I grew up watching my entire childhood, the legendary John Wayne. So one of my first ever videos on YouTube was actually doing this exact same photo. About 2 months after I made that video, somebody offered me 200 bucks for it and I sold it, and my mom was really mad at me. So I'm actually remaking this for my mom on a bigger CNC with, you know, a little bit more knowledge now. So programming this is relatively simple. Import my image. So these are the settings right here that I use for this program. So all my CNC nerds out there, this is what it's gonna look like on the program itself. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lines. It's gonna turn out like this, and this is what we want in the very end result. So now that we programmed it, we're gonna select our wood. I like using a dense wood like this hard maple right here. And so I just took some hard maple, cut it up, glued it together, sent it through the wide belt sander. Why I like using maple, it's dense and it doesn't chip as much. So a lot of people try to use plywood for this, and the plywood's gonna chip all over the place and your photo's not gonna look very good. So be very selective in the wood you use because it does have a huge outcome at the end result. So once I got this panel made, I then took it over to my CNC. I'm gonna use a shop saber that has a vacuum table just for ease of use, but I've done plenty of these on my 2x3 CNC, and they came out exactly the same. They came out gorgeous. You're gonna put a really sharp bit in there, like this 60-degree V-bit. This CNC is gonna put hundreds of lines, just a little bit apart, going all the way up this board at a 45-degree angle. And whenever it wants to do darker lines, it's gonna go deeper with that bit. And whenever it wants to do lighter lines, it's gonna come up. So after the CNC cuts it out, you just spray it with some simple spray paint. I got this in Home Depot. Coat it from all the angles, sand it right off, and the picture pops, and then pretty much you're done. It's a very easy project, and they look really, really awesome. They make great gifts. We're gonna put this on a time lapse for y'all. This should take around 2 hours. So this thing is turning out pretty good so far, exactly like I expect. It took about an hour on the CNC. You can kind of start seeing his face come out. I don't know if you can tell from that angle. By the way, this is a work day in the shop. We're working here. So I'm just trying to get my project in among all the other projects in the shop. So you're gonna hear some noise, but I gotta take this little brush and clean off all of these grooves like this to make sure they're nice and smooth and don't have all those little tiny little fragments and chips in there. So I'm gonna do this over the whole entire board to clean it up, spray paint it black, and then sand it off, and that's pretty much it. Put a little clear coat on it, and it's done, son. So far, there is no good technique to this. Just a little Harbor Freight wire brush and a lot of scrubbing. I'm like Forrest Gump when he's cleaning the bathroom with Bubba.
Shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes.
Fried shrimp, coconut shrimp. So after using that little metal brush on this, it looks okay. You can kind of see it from an angle, but up close as a woodworker, I see all these little fuzzies and all these chips everywhere. So fingers crossed, after we spray paint it and sand it off, it's gonna pop. Let's go do it, baby. We let it dry overnight because it was a little bit wet, but now it's time to sand it all off. That paint's nice and cured. I hope this comes out. You never really know till you sand. You know what, Jeremy? Why don't we just go send it to the wide belt sander?
Yeah?
Yeah, it should work actually perfectly for something like this. Save me some time sanding, and it should be extremely fat, and it should work really well.
It won't ruin it?
I don't think so. And if it does, we can always make another one. I'm a little nervous, man. I'm gonna go down just a little bit more on this. God, what to do, what to do? Do I go down? I think it's just a little bit too dark. I need to go down a little bit more, and then it'll just... Woo, it's taking off a lot. Woo, I hope it didn't lighten it up too much. Hope John Wayne is still John Wayne. I'm a little bit nervous. All in all, it came out great. I think my mom is going to love it. You know, there's some things that I wish I would have changed. I wish I would have clear coated it before so you didn't have so much bleed. I think it would have made this picture pop a little bit more because that maple absorbs some of that darker spray paint. You know, you can see some of these little breakages where that wood did chip a little bit. I do think it adds character. Like all our woodworking projects, when we mess up a little bit and the customer looks at it and they're like, oh my gosh, it has so much character. This thing also has character, but it came out good. It's just crazy what a CNC is capable of. Once again, this project cost me like, 20 bucks in maple and 1 hour on the CNC. So it's an extremely efficient project to do. They're great for giveaways, great for wedding gifts. I hope y'all learned. I hope y'all left this video with more knowledge than when y'all started. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, if you ain't cutting it close, you ain't cutting it right. Grab this one from the bedroom.